Your coming was foretold. As one with wind and cloud, the wind strider.
Let me leave you a
Bloom as the flowers in Gurama!
It's over.
Fuse is lit!
Pulverize!
Quietly now. Here comes the catch. Rain cutter.
Fire hazard! Move the ship too!
Wind strider. Fallen leaves. Adorn my night.
Rain out. Lines your fate.
Fuse is lit!
The world!
Game's up. Time's over. Bust it. Let me weave you a verse. Huh?
Wind strider. Clouds high. The birds call.
Gotcha. Witness the power of Gurwa. Know my sword. Here comes the catch.
Fire hazard!
Wind strider.
Grow!
Game's up. Time's over. Rain cutter.
As one with wind and cloud.
A festive retreat!
Things are about to get dicey. Witness the power of Gurwa. No.
Burned too. Move the ship down!
Fallen leaves. Adorn my night.
Let me weave you a verse. Rain. Things are about to get dicey. Bust it.
Fire hazard! The festival! Here come the fireworks!
Wind strider. Clouds high. The birds call.
Witness the power of Gurwa. Huh? Here comes the catch. Quietly.
Fuse is lit!
Rain cutter. Time to... Things are about to get dicey. Bust it.
Wind strider. Fallen leaves. Adorn my night.
Move the ship down! Fire hazard!
the catch.
Wind strike. Clouds high. The birds call.
Witness the power of the wild.
Oh, this is out.
So what you just saw is a sort of video saying, stop disrespecting Yoimiya, and stop having this false pretense that Yoimiya is going to be bad in every single multi-target situation. Because let's just go over this one comment that was left on my videos by, I'm assuming, the person who caused this video, basically. There's a person in the Discord who is basically like, Yoimiya's bad in single target completely. She's worthless almost. Or not single target, multi-target. But it just, the way they were talking, it felt like they meant that. So I am putting a little words in their mouth. But I imagine that is what they did, considering at the end here, we'll see. Because I'm assuming this comment is left by said person. Okay, so first of all, Yoimiya is a pyro DPS that requires a shield. False. You just saw the video. Did not require a shield. Cleared Spiral Abyss. No problem, right? Just, you know, obviously, if you don't have a shield user, you're gonna get killed. Because, well, that's how things work in this game. You get one shot. That's why healing sucks. But is only good in single target. No, she's not. If you saw the video, then you know that's not true. And, you know, she cleared it pretty well without, you know, having troubles with single target. All right. Has no AoE. You know, true. I'm not going to... Yeah, there's literally nothing I can say about that. You know, she has no AoE. But the characters around her, decent enough. Her ICD works in a way, if executed correctly, she vapes on her last hit and third hit. But if anything happens, like bad auto-targeting, which barely ever exists, bad auto-targeting is bad player. I don't know who thinks that Yoimiya having, you know, bad auto-targeting is how characters, and also it would have to be specifically on those third and fifth hits that she doesn't hit. So she would have to, you know, miss specifically, you know, on 2 of the hits out of the 2 of the 7 hits that she has. So it's a 2 out of 7 chance. It's around, but dodging also does this. Yeah, sure, whatever, but she'll just vape on different hits. Missing because of moving back during her attack. Do you understand how little she moves back? Oh, she, over the course of using her, yeah, sure. If you're firing at something that's just not moving and not trying to get closer to you, then yeah, sure. If you're fighting Mago Kenki and he just flies off around the map, yeah, sure. You know, maybe there's a chance that you move back and you go out of range, but at that point you press right click once and you're fine. Getting staggered, which is why they say she needs a shield, but clearly I've shown that you get one shot. You don't get staggered. You get one shot. So I don't know, man. Like, we obviously, there was cases where we just took hits, but yeah, I don't. You get one shot most of the time in Spiral Abyss, which is where it really matters. Because if you're really complaining about getting staggered, that's like a hilly churl bow shot. And that's really where it matters. But it doesn't matter. Teams you mentioned all fall around. I don't even know what teams I mentioned because I don't even know what video this is. But 45 to 61k DPS. And this is considering medium investment, which I think is dumb. Like, medium investment. No, compare characters at their best. I don't want to see a character be compared to another character at level 70. Because you know what happens if Hu Tao gets compared to another character at level 70? She looks pretty mid because her HP scaling, right? Maybe not, but just assume that. Or let's say Kuki, level 70, right? Obviously, that one's going to look insanely mid. But still, come on. Like, that, it's just kind of medium investment is what the person said. So, yeah. Okay, and then it goes on to say other teams, which I've never stated that she's better than. I think she's better than Diluc, but Hu Tao, no. And Shangling, I have no clue. I imagine she's worse, but Shangling is better just for other reasons, as being like an off-field pyro support. So I don't. They're not even like comparable. Like, you compare Shangling to Hu Tao. Oh, is Shangling better? Yeah, because she's able to apply off-field pyro. Again, I don't know which Shangling, Diluc, Hu Tao, which do 56, 45, and 70k DPS respectively. Okay, this is once again at lower investment. Don't really care about those numbers. And that's only in single target. Now, here's where the biggest, like, dump of all, just, like, what are you talking about? I'm sorry, but where you almost double your damage. No, you're not. You're not hitting enemies twice every single time. You're maybe getting, like, a 30% buff, I would say. I don't know if I'm going to include it, but I was doing a Hu Tao run also alongside this, but this video is very long as it is. Hitting multiple enemies so you multiply your damage, that's if they're also applied with Vaporize, because you're not going to just, you know, Vaporize on one enemy and then the other enemy's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'll take the Vaporize too, because I totally am applied with Hydro or something. No. You got to get them all applied with Hydro, so you're not doubling your damage there either. You're like, what, a Hu Tao charge attack is only going to really, like, maybe I'm missing something and the guy behind the other enemy somehow gets applied with Hydro somehow. I don't know, but I feel like Xingqiu wouldn't do that. I feel like, you know, Xingqiu is pretty single target, don't you know? So you're going to go through the other guy and you're going to do like 40k damage, not 100. So in conclusion, is she terrible in single target? No, but you'll have a much easier time just picking any other DPS. That's where the comment cuts off, because that's all they sent me, right? We can see at the top that there's something cut off there. There's another sentence, but we don't know. If you like ease of use and you like having stamina to dodge, then pick Yoimiya over Hu Tao. There's not that big of a difference. Stop making it seem like that. There is not. I've triple crowned both of these characters. I have her level 90, both of them. Both of them with their signature weapons. I basically dumped Hu Tao immediately after I got her, because I was like, ew, this is kind of, yeah, I don't really like her no stamina. Depending on if you can handle that, then yeah, sure, go for the extra DPS. But at this point, there's no need for it. Every single time Yoimiya struggles, it seems like Hu Tao struggling. You would have to lose Spiral Abyss legitimately like by like 2 seconds for you to say, oh man, Hu Tao, I would have done it with Hu Tao. But there's a good chance you will never do that. Like, generally, you either lose or you don't, from my experience in Spiral Abyss. Obviously, my experience can be completely different from someone. Maybe there is someone who's always losing by 1 second, but is it on a Yoimiya team? Is it on a Hu Tao team? Who knows? Let's go to the next comment where they wanted me to specifically respond to this. If you're making a video, please respond to this. I'll have to blur out their names, by the way. It's just one person, but all right. So if you're making a video, please respond to just this point at least. If her teams range from 45 to 61k DPS, and the other 3 pyro DPSs have teams that hover around 40, 56, 45. Now, see, why are you giving Yoimiya a range, but you're not giving these guys a range? Like, I don't know if you're favoring these characters or you're being like, oh, no, they're lower, or they're lower. You're giving me a range for Yoimiya that's pretty big. Like, that's a 16k difference. That's a pretty big difference. Imagine if, you know, she had 61. Oh, wow, look at that. She's right there with that 71,000. See, that this whole thing, like, it's clearly like you're giving me a range. I'm using 61k. I don't care. You gave me a range. You're not giving me a range for any of the other characters. 61k. Why get a character who is in single target locked? She's not. I just showed that, and that's basically what this entire video is about. Like, whole single target lock. No, actually, this is not what the whole video is about, but it's the next comment. So, like, why get a character who's single target locked? She's not. We saw. She murdered, like, 3 enemies immediately. The next comment is tied to a video. This comment had a video attached to it. It was Diluc, Kazuha, Bennett, Xingqiu, right? Set up Bennett, set up Xingqiu, didn't set up Kazuha. He just did an E-skill with Kazuha because he didn't have Kazuha's burst. Now, in that video, if he had Kazuha's burst, I can guarantee that those guys would have been so low health. They were at 60 health. So, you know, what happens is, you know, you use Bennett's buff, then you use Kazuha, then Xingqiu does a massive amount of damage, like 50k or something, and then you're set up with Yoimiya, which she's doing like insane amounts of damage, which is usually, and then by that time, they're so low health, you can just pick them off with Yoimiya's bow. That is why people underrate Yoimiya, because they don't realize how much damage their setup is doing. They don't realize that their setup is killing the enemies so much that, oh, hey, I did 150,000, which is what the Diluc did, and he murdered all of them. Yeah, sure. Cool. Nice. But Yoimiya would have just fired a couple arrows and murdered all of them had you had the proper setup. Once again, did not have Kazuha's burst up. Obviously, Diluc would have done more damage if he had Kazuha's burst up. Maybe he wouldn't have, because the Pyro Swirl from Kazuha would have swirled off the Hydro that Xingqiu applied, and the burst would have done less damage. Who knows? She's not single target locked, and the whole comment for this one is, you know, I've had it up on the screen. I think these chambers are where you have few enemies at the beginning and one single after are pretty common. So clearly, set up, do all that damage, pick them off, and they're dead. And then you're going on to the single target, which is exactly what happened in Spiral Abyss recently, which was the Frost guy. And we absolutely killed that guy and cleared that stage with 3 stars. This video is so long, I'm gonna have to edit it down so much. But yes, that is why Yoimiya is underrated. Okay, so I saw something while I was editing where I missed when I was actually recording the video. Why get a character who is single target locked rather than the other 3, right? And the other 3 being Xiangling, Diluc, and Hu Tao. Diluc, first of all, it's so completely different gameplay styles, and you should really not bring in Xiangling, because at that point, why summon for Hu Tao and why summon for Diluc? Just at that point, stop bringing in Xiangling, alright? They do completely separate roles, and we all know Xiangling's better than all of them. There's literally no point to keep bringing in Xiangling. They have completely different gameplay styles. I like Yoimiya. She's way better and more consistent for me, because she is just sitting there firing arrows. Whereas with Hu Tao, oh yeah, and Yoimiya also scales with crit rate. Hu Tao does not. It's, you know, harder to build Hu Tao. I love characters who scale with crit rate. Ito scales with crit rate, so does Yoimiya. They both have easily over 70% crit rate whenever I use them. So Hu Tao, yeah, sure, you could say get good artifacts, but like, some people don't have good artifacts. Some people don't have Staff of Homa. Some people don't have Hu Tao's best in slot. They may have Yoimiya's best in slot. Because you know what banner Yoimiya's best in slot weapon was on? Nahida's weapon banner, which is a great weapon banner. So I would say, it's just the circumstantial, right? Yoimiya's a good character. What's the point? If they can all clear Spiral Abyss, then what is the point of having more damage? Like, let's say, you know, because obviously Hu Tao does more damage. Have I ever used Hu Tao in Spiral Abyss? Seriously, I don't know. I seriously used my Yoimiya. And then Hu Tao, I may have used her when I got her. But after that, I just use her for fun whenever I feel like it now in events. Not Spiral Abyss. Because I don't like Spiral Abyss. But I don't just go into Spiral Abyss and I'm like, oh, wow, look at this Hu Tao team. It's so much better than my Yoimiya team. It's really not. I say, when I'm using the characters, and I see, like, Hu Tao is, like, better, and I choose to use Yoimiya over her, it's because the gameplay style is more consistent, because you're further away from the enemy, there's a less chance that you get hit. That's all I'm saying. I like the gameplay style. The gameplay styles for all of those characters, Xiangling, Diluc, Hu Tao. Hu Tao and Diluc are the closest to being the same. But Yoimiya is completely different than both of them. Yoimiya and Xiangling are 2 completely different pyro DPSs. So that's the entire reason why someone would summon over Hu Tao. If they cared purely about DPS, then yeah, sure, go for Hu Tao. I don't understand what is the whole, like, issue with summoning for a character who may be slightly worse. It's gameplay style. It's like, why would you summon for Wanderer when you have Zhao? Because the gameplay style is completely different. Don't know. But that's it for this video. Stop disrespecting Yoimiya. She's not bad. She's not locked in single target. Goodbye.